Okay, everybody, so I'm going to be doing this video a little bit different. We are starting to read on page 12, and we're going to do page 12, 13, 14, and 15, I think, if I can get it all together. But I am zooming in on this link here, and you guys can go to this link too. I've given you this link, okay? So remember, this is what this looked like. I gave you this link, and it's linked on the bottom. So you can view this as a map, or you can go down here and view it as a chart. And I actually think the chart is super helpful because it sort of helps you understand the timeline of when the war occurred. Okay, so the war is going to occur here in 1914, and you're going to see all the things that are going to start to happen. Okay, we're going to read right here on page, and then you can kind of scroll this over. Okay, this is all the pre-war things. And if you see down here, you can filter the events by time. So you can filter by the pre-war period, and then you can say 1914, 1915, 16, 17, 18, because these are the years of the war, right? Because you guys learned that 1914 to 1918 are the year of the war. Okay, so we're going to read in your book, and I'm going to actually kind of zoom in here. So you're welcome to just look with me, right? Or you can look on your separate sheet of paper, which I've included as well. Okay, thought this might be a little bit easier. So we're going to talk about the decades before 1914. 1914 is when the war started, okay? Europe's most powerful nations split into two rival groups. The threat of war hung heavy in the air. Most governments hoped that the sheer size and strength of the two sides would prevent either one from attacking the other. But some began to fear that if Germany became stronger, it might just tip this precarious balance of power and a major war would be inevitable. And we've got a picture here of Kaiser Wilhelm II. All right, we're going to hear more about him. Okay, until the late 19th century, okay, which is the end of the 1800s, all right, Germany was made up of 39 small independent states. In the 1870s, Prussia, which was the most powerful of them, led the German states in a successful invasion of northeast France, taking Alsace and Lorraine. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Then the Prussian convinced the other German states to unite with them, creating a powerful new nation. Okay, so that's how basically the nation of Germany is born. Okay, and this is all occurring in the late 1870s. So if we go back over here onto this map, okay, this keeps popping up to kind of tell us about the pre-war period. But we've got the late 1870s is when this was occurring. So we are way back here. Look on this map. Okay, we are back over in here. And we actually have this on the map. This was probably the start, right, of what was going on. So this is called the Franco-Prussian War. So if you click on that, okay, you'll get some information about this. And it said that rivalry was simmering between the French and the French Second Empire and the Kingdom of Prussia, as we were just talking about. And so, and this kind of will tell you just about what I just read right there. So that's kind of cool. So that was 1870. And that's sort of the first event here, right? That's the first event that they're talking about. And that's right here in your book, okay, on page 12. It talks about this happening and that they're going to attack France. Okay, now we're going to go into the Central Powers. And this is an important section. Fearing retaliation from France, the Germans formed an alliance with Austria-Hungary. They promised each other military aid if Russia attacked either of them or helped another country. I'm recording. You almost done? No. Do you need me? No. Okay. I was just going to show you this. Okay. Or helped another country, such as France, in a war against them. In 1882, Italy joined them to form a triple alliance known as the Central Powers. But secretly, the Italians also made a pact with the French to stay neutral if Germany invaded France. Okay, so this right here is our triple alliance. You see this on your map, on this chart here. Okay, this is the triple alliance. So when I click on this, this starts at about 1882. Okay? It says the German Empire was concerned that France might seek to avenge its defeat in the Franco-Prussian War of 1870-1871. So the Germans who have defeated the French are afraid that the French might retaliate and that it might solicit Russian help to do so. It also sought rapprochement with the Austro-Hungarian Empire to secure its flanks and to settle politics in its largely Roman Catholic South. So the Austro-Hungarians had ambitions and concerns and were worried. So basically, this thing right here shows the three groups, and here is a picture right here, that came together to form a triple alliance. So they are agreeing here in what year was that? 1882. They are agreeing to stick together, right? And make sure that they are going to help each other if anything happens. So they're fearing retaliation from France. The Germans create an alliance with Austria-Hungary. All right. So the Germans wasted no time in building up their industries and expanding productions of coal, iron, and steel in their new nation. They were so ambitious that by 1913, they had outstripped Britain as Europe's leading industrial power. The new ruler, okay, and this is the new ruler here of the Germans, Kaiser William II, had ambitions for a place in the sun to rival the empires of Britain and France. To do this, he expanded his army and ordered the construction of a new fleet of warships. By 1914, that's the year the war is going to start, Germany had colonies in Africa, the Far East, and the Pacific, and the second largest fleet in the world after the British Royal Navy. Okay, so back over here, we're now coming up, right, to 1914. And this is where the war is going to get started here in 1914. So here we are. We're coming up into July of 1914, and we're about to get started in the war here, as you can see on this. This is all the things, right? This is kind of the dead period, but this is what's leading up to it. Okay, so during the 1890s, France and Russia became more and more worried about Germany's growing power, especially as the Kaiser had given important positions in his government to military officials. In 1893, they formed an alliance against Germany and the other Central Powers. Okay, that year was, what year did they say? In 1893. 1893, they formed, it says here, 1893, they formed an alliance against Germany and the other Central Powers. So here we are here in 1893, and we've got a Franco-Russian alliance. This is Paris of 1895, okay? So the British, too, began to fear the German expansion would threaten their empire navy. So basically, everyone's afraid of Germany right now. Everyone's afraid of Germany. France and Russia get an alliance together, and now here's the British. So in 1904, Britain and France signed the Entente Cordiale, okay? And that's not on the page there, but they signed this, meaning friendly understanding. This is Britain and France, offering mutual aid in case of war. 3 years later, Russia signs a similar agreement with Britain. The Triple Entente is what this is called. And this is on here. So here's the Triple Entente. So if you click on this, you've got your Triple Entente. All right. It furthered the separation of Europe into two armed alliances by aligning Great Britain with France and Russia. Okay. So let's flip back here now to our map over here. Okay, so where is Great Britain? Okay, we've got France here, and we've got Russia, and we've got Great Britain. So you can see they're all green. They're all sticking together here. And then, of course, we'd already talked about how Germany and Austria-Hungary kind of came together. So this is what we've got now. These guys have formed an alliance, and these guys have formed an alliance. And there's actually, I love this, there's old videos on here. So let's see what this video is here. I mean, this is videos from the very beginning of videography. Okay, pretty cool. And And this is all because, right, they're worried about Germany. They're worried that Germany is taking over so much. So you can see this here in the picture. These three kind of go together and this goes together. And that's basically what our map shows, right? We've got here, okay, these are the Central Powers, and then we've got our Allied powers sticking together. Okay. As the two power blocks squared up to each other, the atmosphere between them became more and more tense. Governments across Europe began modernizing their armed forces and making plans for what to do if war did break out. The rivalry was at its fiercest in the naval arms race that grew up between Germany and Britain. In 1906, the British launched a new type of warship named after the first of its kind, the HMS Dreadnought. Okay, here it is. Here's a picture of that warship. Powered by steam turbines and mounted with 10 big guns, each with a range of up to 6 miles. It was bigger, faster, and had more firepower than any other battleship ever. The Germans soon began to build dreadnought-style ships of their own. Okay, so because the British are doing this, now the Germans are building them up. And by 1914... that's this year that the war started, everyone. Don't forget. I can't get that clear. Britain had 30 and Germany had 20. War was looming on the horizon. Okay. And now we're going to be getting ready for the war to start. Okay. And that is going to start with the assassination of the Archbishop. So here we go. On Sunday, June 28th, 1914, a disaster struck in the Bosnian capital of Sarajevo. Okay, and let's come back over here to our map. I'm trying to see if we've got Bosnia on here. Don't see Bosnia on this map. Okay, let me see. If we come over here, here's the assassination of the Archbishop. I'm trying to see if there's a map that kind of shows Bosnia. Okay, Serbia. Oh, yeah, there it is. I've got it. Sorry. See, this is why you need to know your map. There's Bosnia, okay? And here's where we're talking about, right in here, okay? We're going to have an assassination here, okay? This guy is going to be the heir to the Austria-Hungarian throne, okay? He's going to be the heir to this throne, and he is going to be assassinated. Okay, and so let's take a look here. A 19-year-old student shot Franz Ferdinand, the heir to the Austrian-Hungarian throne. The assassination provided the spark that ignited the First World War. Okay, so it looks like they might have shot both of them. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm gonna show you quick on this video here. They actually have his like a video of their, look at this. This is him after he's assassinated, right? This is their two, yeah, so it was him and his wife were killed. There's actual video of this, right? A video of them with the funeral procession there, which is pretty incredible. So let's learn a little bit about this that occurred. So the Balkan states, and here we are down here, okay? The Balkan states of Southeastern Europe had a long history of wars and ethnic tension going right back to the time of the Roman Empire. And so it says here, right? During the 18th and 19th century, so that would be 1700s and 1800s, they had been fought over by two powerful empires, the Ottoman Turks and the Austro-Hungarians. Bosnia and Serbia had been ruled by the Turks until 1878, when Bosnia was handed over to Austria-Hungary and Serbia was granted independence. Since then, Serbia had expanded its territory and was beginning to pose a threat to the Austrian power in the nation. Okay, so let's go back here. You see this right here. Their area is getting bigger, and they're going to, of course, be with these other allied powers. So these people here are getting worried. They're getting worried about the fact that they're spreading. Okay, and so this map shows the Balkan states in 1914. This right here okay, is just kind of a blow up of what I'm showing you right here. It's basically the same thing, okay? So most Bosnian Serbs were Slavic people. Many of them wanted to bring an end to the Austro-Hungarian rule in Bosnia so they could unite their two countries and form an independent Slavic nation. Passions ran high, and some revolutionaries were prepared to go to the extreme lengths to achieve this goal. So here they are right before they're assassinated. This is Franz Ferdinand and his wife Sophie in Sarajevo. They're about to climb into their car, and they're going to be shot dead just minutes later. When the heir to the Austria-Hungarian throne, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, announced an official visit to Sarajevo, a Serbian terrorist organization called the Black Hand decided it was time to strike. It recruited and trained 3 Bosnian student activists and armed them with pistols, hand bombs, and cyanide capsules. Their mission was to assassinate the Archduke, then to commit suicide so that the killing could not be linked to the Black Hand. The young Bosnians, and their names were Gavrilo Princip, I can't even pronounce these names, you can see them here, were all dying slowly of tuberculosis. Okay, so these students were already very sick, and they were going to die. So their lives seemed a small price to pay for what they believed to be a just cause. Okay, so here we go here. This is police seizing them. For many years, this picture was said to show the arrest, but it is now thought that it is Nedvedvel. So they didn't know which guy they were arresting, but this is an actual picture right after it happened. That's crazy. When Franz Ferdinand and his wife Sophie arrived in Sarajevo, they were driven to a reception with the governor of Bosnia. The streets were lined with well-wishers cheering the Archduke as he waved from an open-top car. But hidden among the crowds were the 3 assassins and 4 accomplices intent on murder. As the motorcade passed Nedeljko Kavrinovic, that's one of the guy's names, he hurled his bomb. It missed Franz Ferdinand's car, but it hit the one behind, injuring its passengers and several onlookers. Chaos spread through the crowd as the imperial party sped for the safety of the city hall. For now, the plot had failed. After the reception, the Archduke decided to visit those injured in the earlier attack. His driver took a wrong turn right past Gavrilo Princip, who seized his chance. Grabbing his pistol, he fired in almost point-blank range, shooting Franz Ferdinand in the neck and Sophie in the abdomen. The driver raced back to the governor's residence, but the Archduke and his wife died before they could receive medical help. Princip and Kabrinovic both swallowed their cyanide, but the poison failed and they were arrested along with their accomplices. Under interrogation, they soon revealed that the Black Hand had orchestrated the assassination. So the pills that they were supposed to take to kill them didn't work. So that meant they figured out that it was the Black Hand that had done it. So they figured out that the people up in here were responsible for the death of these guys here. And that's a big deal. The Austrians insisted that the Serbian government should take responsibility for the Black Hand's actions. They issued them with a strict set of demands. When the Serbs failed to meet all these demands, Austria-Hungary, with German backing, declared war on Serbia. Okay, so these guys here are going to declare war on Serbia here. Okay, and this is going to be the start of the war. This happened on July 28. Tensions between the European powers now came to a head, and the die was cast, which means this is what's going to happen now. Okay, so I just want to see if there's anything else I wanted to read about. Nope, I think we did a really good job covering that, and very, very interesting here as we get started. So that is the start of World War I now that has occurred.